Welcome back to 15 Lessons in 15 Weeks. This is week 10, and I'm talking about age 24, the lesson I learned at age 24. And I'm just gonna jump right in because I feel like I have a lot to kind of digest. So I hope you are buckled up. And at 24, I learned just such a fun lesson. This might not be exactly in sentence form, just kind of how last week was just one word, but I'm going to try to do my best to explain what I mean. So at 24, I was in a place where basically I had two job opportunities that was kind of presented before me. I had one opportunity at the place that I was living, and then I had another one that was actually going to take me back to England, and allow me to do photography and social media and travel and do kingdom work. And it was just such this amazing opportunity. But there was a lot of unknowns still. There was a lot of things I didn't quite know. I didn't know the people who ran the organization. They were like mutual friends. And so there was a lot I needed to figure out still. And December 2017, I flew over to England to kind of figure out if this is what I wanted to do. Because I felt, up until that point, I'd felt such a peace that I was supposed to say yes to this opportunity. I hadn't met these people in person. I'd only just talked to them on the phone, but I just felt like God was saying, you're supposed to walk through this door, and it might not be easy, that you might come up against some things, but you're supposed to walk through this door. So December 2017, I flew to England for kind of a vision trip, and that is actually where Josh and I met. In this 2-week span that I was in England, we met at kind of a work lunch, in the sense of basically the guy that we wound up working for, he was kind of trying to get us both on board, and he just thought, if I get these two people together, they're going to be, if they say yes, they're going to be the media team, and we're just going to have a lunch, we're just going to brainstorm, maybe talk about the future, see kind of what happens, and let them decide if this is what they want to do. So Josh and I both kind of at this crossroads were presented this opportunity, and we both had a decision to make. I left very much still feeling a peace in my heart that I was supposed to say yes to this, but I had no idea what this guy, who he was, what his life was at the time, where he was in life at the time. But I knew that I was supposed to say yes to this opportunity. So I came back home, and in a space of 4 months, I needed to obviously make sure that I was financially able to go, that I was, had everything set. I needed to apply for all the paperwork that I needed. And so it wasn't until April of 2018 that I finally got to go and start this position. And up until this point, like, God was just so right there beside me, just every single step of the way. And it was like, I just kept saying yes. And the only way that I can describe it is there are two verses in the Bible. One is kind of my life verse, and the other one is actually Josh's life verse. And the first one is Psalm 37:4, which is, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And the other one is Matthew 6:33. It says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added. And that year was just that, literally being lived out in front of me, was that I was seeking the Lord first. And it was just like all of these like heart desires were kind of just being put in front of me. Like, I'd always wanted to be able to, do photography and kingdom work, and, do graphic designing and social media and all of these things. And it was like, bam, there's this job opportunity. And, in seeking first the kingdom, it was like, it was just there, and there was just such a peace about it. And I think the lesson that I learned was that knowing the peace of God, saying yes to him, and trusting him with every step that you take will open doors that no one else can open, like literally. And that year kind of finished with me obviously stepping into a completely new season I was not ready for. At 25 is technically when Josh and I started dating, which I'll explain at age 25 in next week's video. But I needed to learn this lesson, that knowing the peace of God, saying yes to him, trusting him will open doors that nobody can open. And this is truly what I learned at 24 years old. And it was such a fun lesson to learn. It was so needed for where I am now in life, where Josh and I now are in life. And I just want to encourage you that if you are in a position where you know God, you trust him, seek his peace, know what it feels like, to not have his peace. Like, I know what it feels like when I don't have the peace of God, and I know what it feels like when I do have the peace of God, and I just want to have his peace. But then at the same time, like, say yes, sometimes even when it's scary. Say yes to the things that he might be asking you to do that might be scary, but if you trust him, if you really, really trust him, he's gonna open doors that nobody else can open. And he's gonna keep doors that nobody else, keep doors shut that are supposed to stay shut. There's a verse in the Bible about that. But yeah, simply this week's lesson is about discovering for yourself the peace of God, saying yes to him, trusting him, and just having an adventure where he leads you. And there's so many verses that are just popping into my head. He leads me, beside still waters and, green pastures, and he restores your soul. Like, if you don't know him, my challenge and encouragement to you is to get to the place where you want to trust him, where you want to know him. But if you do know him, my encouragement and challenge to you is to trust him a little more. Cling to him a little more. Reach for him a little more. Say yes to him a little bit more. And just watch the incredible things he can do, immeasurably more than what we could ask, seek, or imagine. I made a video before I set foot on this journey, and it was such a prophetic even declaration over what I was stepping into. And I said that he was going to do immeasurably more than I could ever ask, seek, or imagine, and he absolutely did. But it's because I chose to trust him. And so I hope that encourages you this week, and I hope you join me next week to figure out the lesson I learned when I started dating Josh, because 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 are going to be fun to unpack. So I hope you've had an amazing week, and I hope you have another amazing week. But join me next week for age 25. I'll see you then. Bye.